Good to be with you this morning. I've been having a little trouble with my camera going off and on, but I think the voice will continue even if the picture goes off. But wonderful to be uh, fellowshipping with you on Zoom. I had the joy of being for the second time this year in India in October. And for 5 years, Cathy and I were shut out of India. We were actually blacklisted from 2016 to into the COVID time, and we couldn't travel during the COVID time and so forth. We're off the blacklist. And in March was the first time back in India. And again in October, I was there with a team of 3. And when I get through immigration into New Delhi, get through immigration, I have to pinch myself to believe that I'm actually back in India. Cathy and I lived in India for the first 7 years of our missionary life back when we were in our 20s. 3 of our 4 kids were born in India, and some of the closest friends in all the world that we have are Indians. And so AlongSideAsia began about 14 years ago, and we have concentrated on relationships with partners of ministries that are based in India and Indian brothers and sisters. And our first stop was actually in the far north of India, northeast of India, near the Bhutan border. We have a ministry partner with a tremendous school with about 550 kids, and church planning ministry of hundreds of churches that have been planted in the whole region. And it was a crucial visit. The last visit was just a few days before the death of the founder of that ministry, who was one of our closest friends. And we were able to see him before the Lord called him home. And now the mantle has fallen on his son, Joshua. And his father wasn't Moses, but his father was Nicholas. And Joshua has really embraced, he never sought the leadership and actually resisted it for several years. But he has embraced the call, he's heard the call of God, and he's a very different person than his father. And yet his gifting is what the movement, Calvary Fellowship, it's not linked to the California Calvary Fellowship, but that's what they call their network of over 100 churches. And Joshua, I call him every couple of weeks, and we talk and pray together. And just to be with him for a week and see him in action is very, very gratifying. And we had about 30 other of our partners that came together for the week. And one of the 4 members of our team is a man named a pastor named Jim Atkins. And he has just left the pastorate because his global ministry has grown so much. And he calls himself the chicken missionary. And he combines helping ministries start poultry for the purpose of raising local money for their ministries. And he combines that with a very strong emphasis on discipleship. And we had a 4-day gathering of our partners, and he took the first 2 days doing a seminar on poultry and discipleship. And it was very, very much appreciated by our partners. And there are plans that took root during those 4 days to develop a follow through to actually, Jim will actually go out at least once a year and help them start poultry businesses and expand their disciple making. And he has a pastor's heart, and is part of a prayer that Cathy and I have been praying, that God would raise up a younger leader to be involved. He has his own ministry, but that he will be able to continue visiting and supplement what we're able to do as far as encouraging our partners. After those 4 days, we went into Bhutan and were involved with a major project to actually build the first ever trading center in that country. It's a Buddhist country, and you're not allowed to build church buildings. The churches meet in houses, in their houses, but the church is expanding exponentially. One of the fastest growing churches in the world. When Cathy and I first stood on the border of Bhutan in 1970, there were a couple of dozen known believers in the country. Today there are 25,000 believers in that nation, and the population is quite small. It's a little country between China and India, the giant nations of China and India, and this little Himalayan kingdom, 98% mountains, very high Himalayan mountains, not Pittsburgh mountains. And so we were able to actually go to the site of the training center, which is being built as a big house, and see the foundation now has been completed, and that's the most time consuming and resource consuming part of building a multi-story house. And just to be there, to be with the leaders of that house church movement, and to be with them for 4 days and to see the progress, and also to see the large poultry business that they've started, and for Jim to be there and be a consultant to them, it was fabulous. And so I guess the prayer requests for us right now are, well, number one, the son of the founder of the house church movement, 17 house churches throughout Bhutan, is a 30-year-old who is getting married in 2 weeks. And he is also the person who will be the director of the training program, the training center. And his name is Prakash. And he is, there was a big smile on his face the whole time we were there. And as he prepares for his marriage, and we weren't able to meet his bride, but we saw plenty of pictures of her. And so Bhutan has been locked shut because of COVID for 2.5 years, but in September 23rd, the nation opened again. And the shutdown for that length of time has devastated their economy. and this poultry business is booming right now and producing income to fund ministry in the future and be the sustainability piece of the training center. There's still a lot of money that is needed to complete it, and we have the challenge of helping them raise that money, and the expansion of this poultry and discipling in Bhutan and throughout India as well are two of the challenges that and opportunities that are on front burner on our plate. So Cathy and I are visiting our son out in Idaho, and his wife and 4 grandchildren the first 2 weeks of December. I just talked to him this morning right before this time, and we're looking forward to seeing that part of our family that we actually haven't seen in a couple of years. We live near to Mala and Greg Malstead, who Memorial Park Church has been a big supporter of the ministry. They started Freedom Firm in India, and Cathy is actually over right now doing some painting with Mala 2 miles away from where we live in Kentucky. So that's our world right now.